everyone. This is Carrie Howard.
And Trey Munger.
We are the counselors at Liberty Park Middle School. And due to the threat of severe weather, our parent meeting for rising 7th and 8th grade students has been canceled for this evening. We thought that you might want to go ahead and have the presentation since your students have already brought home their course selection cards. And so we thought that we would send out this video to you. We are planning to have time tomorrow, Friday, February 17th.
There we go.
From noon until 1 for a Google Meet to answer any questions that you might have. The link will be sent, is also in this email that you received. And we will have an in-person time next Thursday, February 23rd at 5:15 p.m. at the school before our rising 6th grade meeting begins at 6 o'clock in order for you to answer questions or ask questions in person if you would like to do that.
And it will be a shortened version of the presentation because we do know that the course cards are due the next day. For those students that are rising to 7th and 8th grade. However, don't worry about that. If you do have some questions, we understand that there may be some possibilities for some of you to take a little bit more time to make your decisions. So we're not concerned about that. So the first thing that we want to do is go over the dates to remember for 7th and 8th grade. Yesterday, your students received their course cards from their first period teachers. This is also where they're going to turn their course cards back into when they're ready to turn them in. So course cards were given to all of the rising 7th and 8th grade students yesterday. You will have from yesterday until next Friday to do our online course request forms along with your course cards. There are actually two things that you will need to do, and we will go over those during this presentation, but you will need to have your student complete a Google form that will be accessed through their account. So whatever they log into when they open their Chromebooks, that is where they would do that. Also, they need to do a PowerSchool request where they will enter those in where they check their grades and their attendance and things like that. So doing this on their Chromebook will be the easiest way to do your course requests online. On that Friday, they will just simply turn their course cards back into their first period teachers in the morning, and we will collect them from there. There is something that we need to make sure that you understand. You have from February 24th until May 1st to make changes to your requests. During that time, if you decide not to take an advanced class and switch it back to a regular class, or a regular class, switch it to advanced, or any other changes, this is the time to do it. We have talked to the students and we told them that they also need to be very, very, very thoughtful in what they choose for their classes, including their electives and their fourth periods for next year, because after May 1st, we are not going to make changes. PowerSchool is an interesting beast. And so therefore, when we have to make changes too late in the school year, or even at the beginning of a school year, there are things that get messed up in schedules and also in grading and all those kinds of things. So our administration has decided that we will not be making any course changes for the next year after May 1st. So that is very, very important. So try to make sure that y'all have all the discussions you need to have about what courses you're going to be taking for next year. One of the things we told the kids is we don't want you over the summer to then talk to your friends about what they selected and then change your mind at the last minute to make sure that, or to try to get into the same classes as them. If they think they're going to want to be with friends for certain electives or whatever else, they need to make up their minds now. So that's very, very important. So go ahead and make sure that your student has talked to their friends if that's a helping deciding factor for any of those things. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is website information. All of the things that you will need can be found there.
So when you access the information, you can actually look in a couple of places. Obviously, this message has come on about us getting out. You can look for students and family and for parents, and then find course selection information this way. But there is also a way to access it just from the home screen, which for some reason it is not letting me go to the home screen. Well, let's see if I can access it this way. So when you get to the home screen, if you scroll down, there is actually a quick link to the same information, 2023-24 course selection information. The course selection guide is available here. The presentation that we're going through, if you just want to flip through it without watching the video, and then access to the Google Forms for each grade level. Also, if your student is interested in the following fourth period classes, there are applications or tryout information here for that. So if you are looking at advanced art, yearbook, or robotics, there are applications. Jazz band and honor choir actually have a tryout. So if you're interested in either of those, Mr. Bryant has put jazz band information here. But if you're interested in honor choir, you can see Mrs. Cantwell. We have also listed in Google Classroom the same things for each of the grade levels. So students have access in their Google Classroom to the presentation, the course card in case they lose it, the Google form so that they can complete it, and access to the website. So you can have your student bring up Google Classroom, or you can go to the website. Remember, main page, and scrolling down to course information.
Also, something to remember about course selection information. We have told the students to not think of themselves in the grade level they're currently in. So if you have a rising seventh grader, they need to fill out the seventh grade information, not for sixth grade. So they need to think about where they are for rising. So if they're in seventh grade, they need to consider themselves to be eighth graders when doing this part. Same thing for seventh grade.
The course selection guide, which is the first thing that's accessible, is actually in something that is called a live binder. Our system has set up for all the secondary schools to have one and have located it in one place. So when you come to this page, you will actually go to the menu on the left side. And when you click, you're going to choose Liberty Park Middle School. And then it will bring you to our school's live binder. So it is divided by grade level. So if you have a rising seventh grader, when you click, it will come up with the subjects, elective offerings, PE, and information about athletics. So as you are looking, you will see the options of courses and a description. So this will tell you what the difference between regular classes and advanced are for our core classes. It will also give you elective offerings for our main electives, and also for our fourth period electives, which we refer to as elective B. You'll notice on some of the information for electives, career pathways, and Seal of Biliteracy, because we are starting the First Steps initiative with Vestavia Hills City Schools, you will start seeing information about high school courses that show up so that as you're planning pathways for your student, you will know the opportunities that are available when they get to high school. So under world language, you can actually see the Seal of Biliteracy information is included here before the languages so that you can look at that pathway.
All right, for seventh grade core classes, this is your English, math, life science, and social studies. These are the classes that you have to choose from. For English, you can choose regular English or you can choose the advanced level. For math, or let me skip math. For life science, you can choose the regular level and the advanced level. For seventh grade social studies, there are actually two classes that they take. They are with the same teacher in the same period, they just switch over. If y'all are familiar, if y'all remember back when you were in high school and you probably took government and economics, most of us took that when we were in 12th grade. Those are considered two separate courses. So in seventh grade, they have civics the first half of the year and then geography in the second half of the year. One of the biggest things that you have to remember is in choosing the advanced level or the regular level, you have to take the same thing both times. So you can't do or civics for one and then advanced geography for the other. You have to choose either to do regular civics and geography. Kids are in class now. You have to choose regular civics and then geography, or advanced civics and then advanced geography. So that's a big one. Math for seventh grade, we start to do something a little bit different. It's actually one of the most difficult decisions that we have in middle school because none of our classes for advanced are regular in English, science, or social studies will determine what they can do in high school. Whether you take regular English or advanced English during middle school does not dictate whether or not you can take honors classes in high school. However, math does. Starting in seventh grade, you will be choosing to take regular Math 7 or accelerated Math 7. This is done by the state of Alabama. The state of Alabama sets these standards and these classes. So therefore, you have to make a decision in seventh grade that will affect eighth grade and on. So if you were to choose Math 7 in seventh grade, in eighth grade, you would automatically go to Math 8. When you get to the accelerated math, if you start accelerated Math 7, you are expected to go into accelerated Math 8 the next year. The reason this is a decision that will go on to dictate some classes in high school is because, as you see on the screen, accelerated Math 8 also completes Algebra 1. So basically, the difference between the two is, and this is very generic. This is kind of in layman's terms. Math 7 covers the Math 7 standards. Accelerated Math 7 is basically a year and a half's worth of work during seventh grade, and then a year and a half's worth of work in eighth grade. So you would be completing Math 7 and then half of the Math 8 standards, which is pre-algebra. And in eighth grade, when you took the accelerated math, you will be covering the other half of the Math 8 standards, pre-algebra, and also completing the Algebra 1 standards. So this decision that you're making in seventh grade, because what you need to understand is if you start Math 7, you cannot join accelerated Math 8 in eighth grade. So that's very, very, very important. If you start accelerated Math 7 in seventh grade, and then you feel that you're not successful in doing that, you can drop down to Math 8 the next year. However, you can't do it the other way. So just know that. So we are making decisions. Here is why it makes a big difference. Is when you get to high school in ninth grade, everybody will be taking geometry. But starting in 10th grade is where it starts to affect what you had, or it determines what you took in seventh and eighth grade determine what you can take in 10th grade. Students that are in Math 7 move on to Math 8, then they take geometry and they will take Algebra 1 starting in 10th grade. Those students that did the accelerated path will then move on to Algebra 2 in 10th grade. What this really dictates is by your senior year, all students that are taking Math 7 and Math 8 would be at the highest level of pre-calculus in their senior year. Honors pre-calculus their senior year actually will be is what you have to have in order to get the advanced or the honors endorsement, that a lot of people want their students to have. So by taking Math 7 and Math 8, you can still get the honors endorsement at the high school. Taking accelerated version, of math in middle school, you can get up to the AP Calculus or honors calculus side of things, which is just the higher math your senior year. So that really is the difference. The normal math track gets you all the way to pre-calculus. The accelerated will get you on to calculus by their senior year. But both of those levels, you can get the honors endorsement in high school.
So choices for 8th grade core classes, you have English and advanced English. Math is just what Mr. Munger explained. If you took accelerated math in 7th grade, you are able to continue it in 8th grade. You do not have to keep it. If you tried it for 7th grade and it was not what you want to continue doing, it is fine to go to regular math for 8th grade, but you cannot go from regular math 7 into accelerated math 8. Science is physical science for 8th grade. So you're going to be doing some physics and chemistry as your topic for science. So keep that in mind if you would like to do regular or advanced. And history is actually going to be the first part of world history up to 1500. And you can take regular or advanced for world history. Elective A offerings for 7th and 8th grade, you have a choice of art, band, choir, teen connections or teen challenges, which we call FACS, and you have the world languages of French, German, and Spanish. If you are going into 7th grade, the world language that if you choose to take one for 7th grade, there is a 2-year commitment for 7th and 8th grade. And that will actually give you completion of level 1 of the language. And then when you get to high school, you can join level 2 in 9th grade. So for instance, if you want to take French as your elective for 7th grade, then the elective that you have chosen would be for 2 years. So you would take French for 7th grade, French for 8th grade. And at the end of that, you would complete French 1 for high school and be able to take French 2 in 9th grade. That would get your 2 years of a world language completed at the end of 9th grade for an endorsement. It is not required that you have 2 years of a language to graduate with your diploma in the state of Alabama. But if you would like one of the endorsements that the high school offers, this is a way of getting one of those completed a little ahead of time. If you took band for 6th grade, you can continue band for 7th. But if you did not take band in 6th grade and you are interested in taking band for 7th grade, then we would need to know that so that we could put you in a beginning band class, and then your schedule would probably change into a 7th grade band class once you learn the instrument. If you are in 8th grade and you have not taken band yet, you cannot join band. So if you have questions about those, please let us know. But we are going to ask that you pick your first choice and then a second choice as a backup in case your first choice is filled. Elective B opportunities for 4th period are the class that is paired with lunch. So there are lots of options to choose from. In 7th grade, you can either choose a year-long option or you can choose a semester option paired with academic strategies. So one semester you would have academic strategies and one semester you would have the class that you were interested in. For example, film and movie with Mr. Vincent is a very popular class. It is a semester offering and you would have that one semester and academic strategies the other semester. And that does fill up, so we want you to make sure and pick backup or alternate choices for those classes. So on the course card, we'll show you where you choose that. So let's look at the 7th grade form. This is the card that your student brought home with all their choices. You are going to put a check mark for your core classes in the box or an X, something to indicate that you're taking a regular or advanced class. And then you are going to rank your first and second choices for elective A, followed by your first and second choices for elective B. Some of these, as I said, have tryouts or an application. Some are year-long or they are paired with a class. So you'll see 7th grade academic strategies can be taken as a year-long class, but App Creator would be paired with academic strategies. So you'd have one semester and one the next. We don't know which semester they're offered in, so you can't dictate that you want academic strategies one semester over the other because the class may not be offered. 8th grade course selection form looks just like 7th grade, except you have different options for your grade level. So same thing, you are going to choose your regular or advanced classes. And then we're asking for a 3rd rank because in 8th grade, you do not have to have an academic strategies class paired with your fun class. So if you wanted to take medical detectives and you also want to be part of Scholars Bowl, choose those for 1 and 2, and then give a 3rd option just in case one of those fills up or doesn't make. Sometimes classes do not make because they do not have enough students. So please make sure and choose an alternate course.
What we talked to the students about with the course selection forms was to make sure that they have chosen those backups as things that they are willing to take. And it's very important that you discuss this with your student because, again, after May 1st, or at least the end of the school year, we are not going to make changes. So if they end up with their backup, they need to be okay with that because we will not change if it was their backup that was selected. So they need to make their choices of things that they are willing to take if other classes either don't make or classes are full. So make sure that you select these things of things that you are willing to do because we will not make changes over the summer or in the fall.
This is the Google form. Remember, it is accessible through our website and through your student's Google Classroom for counseling. If you scroll down, it will ask for a last name, first name, and then you're just choosing which class that you want your student to take. So simple drop-down menus. Same for elective A, you're going to choose your preferred and then your alternate, and then we're going to ask for your choice for elective B and your backups. The 8th grade form is the same way, except it will have where you make a 3rd choice for your elective B course here. And remember, this is the class that's paired with lunch. So lots of classes to choose from. So please be thoughtful because we will not be making changes during the summer after school begins. So this is actually a video on how to enter PowerSchool request. I am not going to play the whole video, but this presentation is on the website, so you can click through the links with it. And so this video walks you through how to do this through your student's PowerSchool account. Do not try it on the parent. You need the student PowerSchool account. And it will show a menu that says class registration, and then it will give boxes to choose from. So I am going to record real quick with you. Right here is class registration. So you're going to click through and go through each of those boxes and then click submit at the end. And we did show your student how to do this when we visited English classes, so they have seen all of this information. So please believe them.
All right. So for rising sixth and seventh grade, or seventh and eighth grade, our sixth and seventh graders will turn their course cards in to their first period teacher and complete all of your online. That is the PowerSchool and Google form by February 24th. Let me say one thing about the online requests. If you make a selection about these, you can be the first person or the last person to enter these. We do not give priority to classes because you're the first one to complete it. So don't get in a hurry. Take your time making your choices and do that. On the online requests, if you fill out the Google form and you decide within this time that you need to make a change because you changed your mind, you can't go back and complete that Google form again. So all you need to do is just email us or have your child come by and tell us, and we will make the change on that Google form for them. However, on the PowerSchool side of it, you can go back in where you put your requests in. You can change one of those requests, and then you can hit the submit button again, and it corrects it. Just make sure you hit submit if you make a change. After the 24th, we are going to shut down the PowerSchool request, so you won't actually be able to make a change in there after that anyways. So you will need to contact us with any changes after February 24th. All right, so when it comes to athletics, starting in seventh grade, all students are eligible to participate in our sports at our school. We have a number of sports that they can participate in, but there are certain things that you have to do in order to participate. One of those being Dragonfly, where you have to complete forms and stuff like that, physicals, things like that, that you have to have done in order to participate. All of this information has been sent out by our athletics department. They've been coming in the emails from the school with links to videos and Dragonfly and all of those things through our system. These are available on the One Rebel site. They're also available on the One Rebel Athletics site, but the links have been sent out in the school emails that have been coming home. There are several people that have already filled these out, so we know that it has successfully been sent out and the links are working, so you can start completing that. I will tell you that if you have any questions about anything with athletics, you are welcome to contact Coach Brizendine. Coach Briz can answer any of these questions for you. He will also be at our meeting on next Thursday at 5:15. So if you even have athletics questions that you need to talk to him about, you are welcome to come on that day just to talk to him about the athletics part. And you can do that from like 5:15 to 5:45. So that is available. But make sure you check the school announcements that have been sent home because they do have the links for athletics next year.
Hey, thanks for hanging with us during this presentation. We wish that we were in person with you because we know it's easier for you and easier for us. But we appreciate you being flexible. And like Mr. Munger said, we will have a shortened version next Thursday on the 23rd if you want to be here at 5:15. Or if you
would I would say anytime between 5:15 and 5:45. We need to give time because we are doing the presentation for rising sixth grade parents. So we need to have a little bit of a buffer. But if you can get there anytime between 5:15 and 5:45 to ask your questions, if you'd rather do that in person, you're welcome to come do that.
Yeah, totally optional. We are going to have time tomorrow for a Google Meet between 12 and 1 for you to ask questions then as well. But we're hoping that this presentation that we just did answers questions for you where you don't feel like you have to come. So like I said, we welcome you if you just want to have that face-to-face meeting, but it is totally optional and not required.
So also, last thing, if you have any questions specifically and you're okay with just making a phone call or an email, you are welcome to do so. Our phone numbers are 402-5458 for Mrs. Howard, 402-5459 for Mr. Munger, and my email is mungerjm. Make sure that you have the JM because sometimes if you type in things, it pops up with either my son's email address that used to be there and he has not been in high school for a while. So just make sure that it's Munger JM and then Miss Howard's email.
Oh, it is Howard KT at vhcs.us. And same with mine. Make sure if you or your student are emailing me, I do have a daughter in 6th grade. And so Amelia Howard is not me. That is my daughter. So I am Carrie Howard. And so it is Howard KT at vhcs.us. So thanks, y'all.
Thank you very much.